When did your dad's paranoia about strangers save his life? Dad made me sign a contract when I was 13 that said no talking to strangers ever. He got scammed out of his entire savings that year, and it broke something in him. Now he kept this massive binder of crime articles and read them at dinner every night. At stores, he stood directly behind me listening to make sure I only said thank you. I could feel him breathing down my neck the entire time. By 16, my teacher asked to speak with me after class about my grades. Dad showed up the next morning and walked right into my classroom in front of everyone. "If you ever speak to my kid without written permission again, I'm reporting you to the district." She went pale and never looked at me again. I started eating lunch in the bathroom after that because nobody wanted to deal with my psycho dad. A firefighter named Leo lived 4 houses down. Dad worked night shifts, so he slept during the day. One Saturday, I was getting mail when Leo asked if I could help move some planters. Dad's curtains were closed, so I said okay, even though my hands were shaking. Leo noticed and asked why I looked so scared. Everything just came out, and I told him about Dad and how he had been complaining about chest pain and jaw aches for weeks, but refused to see doctors. Leo stopped moving, and his whole face changed like he just realized something terrible. Those are heart attack symptoms. If he collapses, you've got about 15 minutes before his brain starts dying. He looked me dead in the eyes, and I could tell he was serious. Don't wait for his permission to call for help. The next Saturday, Leo showed me what to look for, like gray skin and cold sweats and trouble breathing. He taught me how to tilt someone's head back to open their airway and check if they're still breathing. My stomach was in knots the whole time, but I memorized everything because I knew Dad would never let me call for help if something happened. Thursday afternoon, Dad came home early and said he was going to fix the fence. 10 minutes later, I heard something hit the ground outside. I looked out the window and he is on his knees holding his chest. I run outside and his skin is actually gray and sweat is pouring off him. I'm calling 911. He grabs my arm hard even though his grip is weak. No strangers, just help me inside. I pull out my phone anyway and his eyes go huge. "Put that away, that's an order." I look at his lips and they're turning white right in front of me. "Dad, you're having a heart attack." He turns red and looks furious. "Who told you that?" "The firefighter down the street. He looks like I just stabbed him in the back." "You've been talking to people behind my back?" "He's literally dying right now and he cares more about this than getting help." "Dad, please just let me call. If you call anyone, I will never forgive you." His voice cracks on the last word, and that's when I notice his left arm is just hanging there completely limp. I turn and run to the fence screaming for Leo. Behind me, he makes this horrible whimpering sound that makes my chest hurt. Leo's door flies open and he's already running before I finish yelling his name. He jumps our fence and drops next to him. "How long has he been down?" "Maybe 5 minutes." Leo checks his pulse and gets this serious look. "Sir, I'm a firefighter. Your heart is failing." He starts crying and whispers something about not being able to trust anyone. Leo already has his phone out and he tries to push it away, but he's way too weak. "Sir, you need to stop moving right now." He looks at me with tears streaming down. "You did this to me." Then his head falls back and he goes completely limp. All the tension just leaves his body at once. "Is he breathing?" My voice comes out shaky and wrong. Leo puts his ear near his mouth. "Barely." He grabs my hands and puts them under his head. "Tilt back like I showed you. Keep his airway open." His skin feels cold and wrong under my hands. Leo is on the phone giving our address and saying something about cardiac arrest while I'm just kneeling there holding his head trying not to shake. The ambulance gets there and one of the paramedics asks Leo if he called it in. "Yeah, patient refused treatment initially. Been down about 9 total." They load him onto the stretcher and the paramedic tells Leo that waiting any longer would have meant permanent brain damage. When Dad came home from the hospital, he walked straight to his room and came back carrying the binder. He threw it in the trash without saying anything to me.